日本時間4月20日のカブス戦では延長の末、またしても敗れ、このカードでもスイープを喫してしまったメッツ。連敗は歯止めが効かずついに11まで伸びてしまい、ニューヨークポストも大々的に報道。同じニューヨークに本拠地を置くヤンキースのファンもメッツ敗北の瞬間には大盛り上がりとなるなど、完全に笑い物と化してしまっている。またこの日メッツが敗れたカブスの地元放送局からも辛辣な意見が飛んでいる。
Into that 4-game set against the Phillies.
There you go.
A former major league manager, not great at managing late game situations. That's what the update may look like. We'll tell you all about it.
一方試合後、メッツのメンドーサ監督とキャプテンのリンドーア選手は悲痛な面持ちでインタビューに臨んでいる。
Whether it's April, like 11 losses, that's a lot. Whether it's in April or at any point in the season, so.But nobody's gonna feel sorry for us. We got to find a way. We got to find a way. Off day tomorrow, and then back at it on Tuesday.
For sure, this feeling sucks. It's not a good feeling. And you said it. We're professionals, and we got to find a way out of it. And we got to do whatever it takes to end up on top after 27 outs and sometimes 30 outs. It's not a good feeling, but no one here is hanging their heads. Everybody got their head up high and they're fighting for each other. And today, they play a good game, but I came up in situations to drive runners in and, didn't do that. It's just, it came down to the last 2 outs, and I think when I get guys in scoring position, I don't drive him in, I don't help the team that way. He can come back, but what it comes down to is me executing and all of us executing, Like you said, we're professionals and this is what we get paid to do, so I got to be better. I mean, we have a tremendous team, It's David Stern put a good team together, but this shows that nobody really cares. We got to go out there and get it done. And in this past we haven't gotten it done, and it's a bad feeling, but we got to turn the page. I've always said this, whether we win or lose, look at it for a little bit and then turn the page and focus on what we have in front of us.
そしてこの試合を見守った熱狂的メッツファンフランクさんのリアクションも紹介しよう。
Heartless, gutless, fucking shit, most godless, fucking gutless, fucking team. They can't even get it. They can ever get any good at bats. They can't get a bunt. It doesn't run on second. It's over. No shot. No fucking shot of scoring. No hurt. Nah, and Mendoza, he just got that look on his face. There's no hurt. They're never gonna win again. They're gonna lose 100 games every year from now on. And just because they play big party on the moon. Why, God, why? Stop torturing me! Give me one team that has a chance to win! Give me one team!
なお、連敗脱出の糸口が見つからない中で、メンドーサ監督の責任を問うファンや指揮者の声も日増しに大きくなっており、最後にそちらをお届けする。
My criticisms, though, of Mendoza, Joe, are two things that I think are fair. And I'm not saying you fire him today, but if it just lingers like this for a long time. One, the team just has a flat energy. It is bizarre. Winning usually cures that, but the Mets aren't winning. So is there something here that the message is stale or there's an accountability issue? The second thing for me, Joe, is there's been a lot of mental errors with this team, and that's just going to fall on Mendoza at some point. And I think if this lingers on for the Mets, I think Mendoza's in big trouble by the time we get to the end of May if this continues.
As far as like Mendoza and how much rope does he have, I don't think a ton. Look,
I don't think
I said it before.
Carlos Mendoza must be fired on Monday. The Mets have hit rock bottom, losers of 11 straight games. They have fallen to 8 games under 500, and no hope is in sight, which means the Mets have to make a change. And no one is putting all the blame on Carlos Mendoza. Many people will put the blame on David Stearns, the roster he's put together. We can put easily the blame on the players and the lineup, who has just not produced. But the reality is, when you are a lame duck manager surrounded by an all-new coaching staff that came into the year somewhat on the hot seat already, the leash just cannot be too long. And losing 11 straight means this group is playing uninspired baseball. You have a manager that runs out the same thing and the same strategy every day. And while it's not his fault, unfortunately, he has to be the one that falls on the sword. And I think we all like Carlos Mendoza, the person, the family man. There's nothing bad about the guy, but he's unfortunately for himself in a spot where you have to can him. He's in an expiring contract year. He'll get paid for the year to not have to work. It ends up working out for both parties. Mendoza will find a job elsewhere. And for now, the Mets will probably have Kai Correa, the bench coach, step in. I know a lot of people are vouching for Carlos Beltran. Not sure they're going to go outside the organization in terms of a guy stepping in who doesn't know the team day to day. So I think they keep it for the now internal. But there's no question on Monday, before the Mets return home for a 9-game homestand, which is going to be a ghost town. And that's when Steve Cohen takes notes. When fans aren't in the seats, fans will be selling their tickets. They'll eat the tickets, but they ain't showing up to Citi Field. The majority of these 9 games are not going to be massive crowds and are going to be boos rained down on this team. The Mets' best move here is to hope that firing Mendoza inspires this group. And if not, it's going to be a long season in Queens. But you don't fire a GM in season. That just doesn't happen in the sport. Firing a manager does. It might not work, but it's worth a try for the Mets because it doesn't get any worse than this.